doing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
When we first got to the tournament, a lot of people weren't sure just how Sirius was going to perform, and now they've just shown us again that they really are a force to be reckoned with. Let's talk about how game number 1 of the day actually did unfold, and let's just jump straight in. Let's talk about Sirius in the laning phase.
Yeah, I think the way that Sirius handled the lanes in this game was straight out of the eHome playbook from the Bucharest Miner. You start those Warlock tiny supports in an aggressive tri-lane, isolating Bat against the Lifestealer 1v1 bottom, which is part of why you take Lifestealer fourth in that draft, and then the supports rotate downward to relieve some of the pressure. You get the early kill on the Bat Rider, as you see here. He's going to be able to hunt down the Warlock, but Boxy's going to die himself in the process, leaving Taiga having to drag those 2 creep waves all the way across the map to try and get Boxy in on that experience. And this is kind of the play here that I thought might have saved the early game for Alliance.
Yeah, so before this, we just saw the TA getting killed off to the side by Tiny, canceled her TP, and then killed her off. So that makes a huge difference for the outcome of the mid lane, and Storm was having a good time. But dying afterwards to both Bat and Shaker, those were the 2 heroes on Alliance's side that really needed to dictate their tempo, and they kind of came back into it. But we run into some troubles later. This is a very nice Echo Slam from Taiga, but the damage just isn't really there yet. Anti-Mage has not shown up to the fight at all. He's still in mid lane, as you see, and now he's finally going to TP in. But the fight is over, and this has in part been one of the problems in Alliance's play in this game, in my opinion. I think they just don't combine their timing in the fight correctly with how many heroes are there and when exactly to go in. And it's daunting when you're playing against Warlock, like you have to be careful. But the moment that Rock is dropped, I think AM needs to join and get something done. They're getting outnumbered largely. This one I think is a pretty decent opener for them. They get a kill, but then Tiny buys back, they have to back off, and Boxer gets killed on the way out.
And the thing I really wanted to highlight about a lot of these fights, we talk about the trades and we talk about the decisions of various heroes to join the fights, but a lot of the outcomes of the fights based on the heroes look fairly even, but it's always Sirius that's getting the tower afterward.
Yes.
At one point, there's a 4-tower disparity at around the mid-20s, and with a TA lineup, that is not what you want.
This is what a lineup with AM and TA will have a tendency for this to happen, right? Because none of them want to go and start the aggressive move at the enemy tower so that if you win the fight, you're the one taking a tower. They want to farm, right? You have a TA and AM that ideally at least want 20 minutes, maybe 25, maybe 30. And at the time that happens, we're 36 minutes in now, they've lost every single tower on the map, they've lost Roche control.
And this is the first of 2 really big unforced errors by Alliance that essentially sealed the game, using the Mana Void on the Warlock at the back end of the fight, who doesn't even die. And then in the subsequent fight, we had an initiation here. TA has buyback and doesn't buy in the initiation, ends up using buyback with 20 seconds left when the fight is already essentially decided.
Yeah. There's a bit of a disconnect. I think Alliance in this instance feel like they can win the fight 4 and 5, but they can't. They're fighting into 5 heroes that also have an Aegis. Like, if you want to take this fight and defend your Rax, you need to buy back your TA to take this, and yeah, it kind of just snowballs from there. Something I want to point out, I want to quickly talk a little bit itemization because I'm a hater. I did not like the Veil on Shaker at all. I don't think it contributed much to the game. I don't think it has particularly good synergy with his own team. You have an AM and TA as your 2 farming cores. They don't use the Veil for anything except on the off chance you get this perfect mana void on a Veiled Storm.
Yeah.
I think Taiga could have itemized better to help his team. An extra Force Staff against the Storm Lifestealer could have been great.
You're
a
against
Glimmer
Lifestealer and
Cape.
Storm. Where are the Force Staffs?
Yeah.
This is literally an item that hard counters these two. I don't think many people realize how hard Force Staff counters Storm, because if Storm can't get a kill on that initial jump in, I just, you have to itemize for mobility against that kind of lineup, and Alliance was clearly limited in how they were approaching so many of these fights.
Another item he could have bought on Shaker as well could have been a Ghost Scepter. Then you don't die when you get jumped by the Storm Lifestealer. If you get your Ghost Scepter off when you see them coming in, they're not going to deal damage. And the more time they waste trying to go for kills that they don't get, Storm using mana, that's how you set up your AM for success. It's just, I think, across this tournament, I think this might be the item pickup I disagree with the absolute most. Not only because it wasn't good, but because of what it wasn't, right? Like the other items that he could have had, there were so many good options, and he chose this Veil. I just flat out disagree. And then you look at the other side, I just think the itemization of Sirius was pretty much perfect. They got the items they needed. Storm was eyeing a Linken's. He realized, okay, I need this BKB now, so we can take these fights with Infest Bombs. And then he gets the Linken's later. I loved Sylar going for the Daedalus. I think it's one of the best items Lifestealer can buy in this matchup against Anti-Mage, because you actually threaten to kill when you jump in with the Storm. I think they got a kill with an Infest Bomb, forcing Mickey's buyback with a 100-second death timer. Early on, or earlier in the game, of course, it's over.
I really wanted to highlight, just to
items are
piggyback on a couple of things that Sin said, right? I think ASD in this game, he had a lot of deaths early on in Storm. He was never that far up the net worth distribution. You're playing against an AM. This is a hard game to play Storm in if you are not really, really farmed. And he did a very good job, in part because of that BKB adjustment. And talk about the Taiga item choices, it hurts all the more because that's one of the issues that Alliance has had in some of these games with Taiga not getting farmed. In this game, he was farmed. He had a Blink Dagger that arrived just in time at that 13, 14-minute mark to help decide a major fight mid. He had the resources in this game and just misallocated them.
Yep.
So Veil was something that Blitz was talking about a lot as well. So we hear the criticism coming in from the choice here in itemizing in this way. I do want to try to look at, let's pull back the veil a little bit. Why do they go for this itemization? What are you trying to get in this situation, Haas? Let's try to figure out why they actually do go for it.
Well, I think part of it is you're just getting these really big eyes and envisioning the situation where you get Veil off on all these heroes and you get like the magical mana void on Storm that just kills everybody. But again, part of the thing is that's almost overkill, right? If you get that, you're going to win the fight anyway.
Yeah, I feel like this goes back to something that Sin alluded to, and I've heard Sin say quite a bit throughout the entirety of this tournament, both on and off camera. And it's the idea of seeing how much something costs and realizing how good it is for the cost, but not comparing it to the other things that you can grab instead.
Economics 101, opportunity cost.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna have to take your class because I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Opportunity, what?
It's interesting though, because I think it's a concept that I wouldn't say consistently goes wrong, but definitely goes wrong sometimes, even at high tier Dota, is that you see this, like I can give you a great example. Okay, this isn't really high tier per se, but the item Holy Locket, right?
Yes.
You look at the item Holy Locket and you're like, okay, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice. You're like, oh, this is a nice all-round item. It gives me all these things. But then you realize all the things it doesn't give you for the cost. Like,
and all the alternatives.
There's a reason nobody buys Holy Locket. It's because it's a bit of everything, but it's not good enough in any aspect. It's like very, very niche pickups. We see it in like 1 out of 100 games, people buy Holy Locket. And there's a reason we also see Veil in 1 out of 100 games on Shaker. It's because like the things you're not getting when you buy this item are just so integral to Shaker's success in late game fights. When you see the top tier teams buying it, what do they buy on Shaker? They buy mobility, they buy survivability, so that they can kite the fight around, get multiple fissures off, get that A+ echo that you need to win these kind of games. And he was just exposing himself for the majority of the game with the item choice.
That's just how Dota works, right? Dota is a game where it's a game of big plays and big mistakes. Each individual spell, each individual ability is hugely significant. And so when you have these, it's great to have an item that just gives you this overall, all-around boost, right? But when you compare it to an item like a Force Staff making the difference between a 2 and a 3-man Echo in a fight, like that's the kind of thing that can decide a game.
Yep.
Yeah, I also do want to go back to something that you were talking about, Nahaz. You said that there were 2 really big unforced errors on the side of Alliance. When we look at Sirius, we've done nothing but gas them up. Saying we like what they did in lanes. We like what they did as far as itemization is concerned. did they make any unforced errors?
I mean, that's kind of been the story of the tournament for Sirius. There just haven't been these big mistakes. I mean, obviously it's Dota, man. There's always something you could have done better. There's always a little adjustment here and there. But when the game's on the line, Sirius has never been the team that's blinked.
Yeah, they haven't made like grueling mistakes in the game. I think personally for me, this might have been ASD's worst showing in the tournament. He had a couple of individual mistakes, but they weren't game losing, and that's the important thing, right? Like you can have a little bit of an off game, and then Sylar just steps up and plays an amazing Lifestealer game. He played almost flawlessly. I think the Darkseer we haven't talked about too much. Getting anti-mage illusions consistently, playing really, really well together with the Tiny with Ion Shell Surge. They're just on the same page, you know. And there's this there's like a level difference when you see how Sirius set up a fight. There's a clear plan. They have the patience to just wait for the right conditions, and they know they're like one step ahead. We're gonna actually jump in with Storm first, knowing that they're gonna counter engage, but we already have the follow-up ready in mind that the moment he gets jumped back by the Shaker, we come in and follow this 1-2 model with the Darkseer. So
also, I'm quoting Blitz again, but the man says a lot of big truths. Basically said Sirius throughout the entirety of the tournament. It's just been the team that's played the cleanest Dota.
Yeah, he's been saying that since our panel segment the other day, and I think I just think that's right. Again, it's a matter of, you know, you're never going to make all the right plays in a game of Dota, but are you making the right decisions at the big times in the game?
Also, what's a mistake if your opponent can't do anything with it?
Well, and you know, that has two sides, right? This is something I think Sin and I have had this conversation in your sense that, to me, it's not about making mistakes because every player is going to do that. It's what you do afterward. And yeah, you know, ASD had his roughest game of the tournament, but he was also able to, through smart item choices and good decisions about where to be on the map, he was also able to still have a game impact in a game that it's not easy to play Storm when you're behind in that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you stay out a little bit too late. Grab a cup of coffee, you put on your makeup, and you smile, right? Yeah. The thing is it all just matters what you actually do with the situation. And you look at so many individual players on Sirius, and you hear things from the guys while they're casting, just saying that they look untouchable. And now we're going to see an early Furion.
And that support Tiny has been so huge for them.
I want to quickly say, because I feel like the way we talked about ASD, and it was a hard game for him, the impressive thing is that it was his worst game of the tournament, but it still wasn't bad.
Exactly.
I think that's what stands out, because the other teams, when their players have had their worst game of the tournament, they've struggled to have impact or have lost the game, right? And if this is the worst you're going to see from ASD, you're really happy to have him on your team. And it's kind of one of the things about Storm. It's a very volatile hero if you have bad matchups, and you kind of need to lead the charge for your team. He had to go in a lot of the times to set up fights. And Alliance, you got to give credit to how fast Taiga was at counter-initiating the Storm on multiple occasions. So it's not easy to play against this hero, but then when he gets the BKB, it just gets so easy. Because then he doesn't have to worry about the Shaker anymore. In this game now, though, Nature's Prophet, Tiny, Sirius are going to change things up a little bit. I thought they were actually going to go for the Darkseer again, considering that the Oracle is banned, and I think Darkseer is not bad against tanking by any means.
They still could very easily be
it could be a
support
5.
Nature's Prophet.
Technically, yes. I don't know if they really play that on H1.
I know him has a few odd games. You go far enough back in time. It's something almost all the Chinese 5 positions have the odd 5 position if you're in a game.
I'm not the biggest fan of a 10-pick troll like this. I think now I'm even less of a fan. I think Alliance, okay, so basically what Alliance does, they pick the troll because they want a hero that can face up well against this offlane or side lane Furion that they're expecting it to be. And troll is one of the heroes that deals well with it. He has 2 AoE spells, he has high armor, so he can deal with the Treants very well. But at the same time, for me, Troll is a hero that's relatively exploitable when you see it this early in the draft, because he has some seriously bad matchups, and this is one of them. You hate playing against Batrider. It's terrible. And now for Alliance, you got to make the decision. Are we going to put this Troll mid into a blind matchup?
That's what I was going to say.
Are we going to get a Baden? It's banned. Oh, dear.
Baden and Oracle are both banned. So if you're looking for a purge, I mean, LC has not been a hero this tournament.
Yeah,
but
Sirius played them here. I actually think this is a big oversight from Alliance, not banning Batrider here.
I agree.
The OD ban is totally justified. It's a really good hero against Troll. You can banish him during his ulti. You have extremely high damage against him because he has no intelligence, very small brain, but he has big axes to compensate. It's just, that matchup is bad, but I don't know if you need to ban the Ember. And if you do, you have to have a plan for this bat. This can't be a surprise. Like, everybody in this tournament loves this hero, and everybody knows that it's not only good against the troll, it destroys Sand King too. You can't dodge the lane. Sand King will get run over. It doesn't matter where this lane is. Sand King loses it hardcore. So there's a reason the Lions are digging into their time right now, because they're a bit screwed. Like, they're actually really far behind in this draft right now, in my opinion.
They are. I guess the only other thing that springs to mind, right, besides an LC, is to go to another laning counter to the Batrider.
That ain't it, Chief.
No. But I think I was going to say, I think you save it to 4, right? And you look at something like a Weaver, potentially. Something that can lane against the Batrider.
And then you put the troll mid.
And yeah, exactly.
Okay.
When you said, that ain't it, Chief, were you referring to what Nahaz was saying or the Grimstroke itself?
The Grimstroke itself.
Well, the Grimstroke itself obviously does nothing to help you with the Batrider.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing.
It doesn't really do anything. This is their gonna be the lane counter.
Yeah, I don't know about
So
that.
they'll put Omni Knight, and they want... Okay, so what's really important now for Alliance is they have 2 horrible matchups against Batrider and 1 good one. So they have to get Omni against Bat. If they don't, they lose the lanes. I don't see Batrider not crushing this game if it has a free lane. And I think with the help of what now does likely look like support, perhaps, Nature's Prophet. It's a possibility, at least. That can easily secure Spectre's lane. Nature's Prophet Tiny is a strong tri lane. They could play Spectre wherever they want with these 2 supports and just farm. So...
I think Sirius are just crushing this draft right now.
I'm wondering how Alliance can enforce the correct lanes, like how they make sure that they get this Omni, because if they do get the right lanes, it's not that bad. Omni against Bat is fine, and their tri-lane potential with Sand King Grimstroke +1 is definitely, it's not too shabby. We can also put the Sand King position 4. We haven't talked about that option. And if we do that, then the Bat matchup is less severe.
Oh, right? I think the Sand King is definitely position 4, right?
So,
you think? Don't you think it's going to be position 3?
Oh wait, never mind. They have Omni. It has to be. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a brain fire on my part.
Oh, that's all right.
Troll brain. What can I say?
Do you have a big axe, though?
Rough.
I have a big axe.
What do you think? Lone Druid's already banned.
Rich.
Gosh. The options feel awfully limited here for your mid laner. Yeah. I don't think you're picking SF for Koikva.
You don't even know what you're facing.
I know.
Radiant team pick.
Conquer?
It's the game you... Okay, all right. That's a very much a safety pick, it feels like, for the mid lane.
So I'm going to bring up something I saw in chat. Somebody said, ouch, my brain. What is this Alliance draft?
It's garbage.
No, the thing about it is Alliance's draft in isolation isn't bad. Like, their heroes have internal synergy, but it's just, it doesn't really, in my opinion, solve the problems of the game.
I also just don't think, if you look at the type of Dota that's being played in this tournament and how important tower pressure has been and how important mid-game timings are, I just don't.
So
I agree that the heroes work okay together in a vacuum, but I don't think that this is the kind of draft that's suited to the meta that we've seen in this tournament at all.
So I'm going to ask a question right now, and forgive me if I also have a small brain and I'm relying on my large axe right now. Sometimes in the draft, I've noticed you guys will talk about a situation and say, look, these guys are really behind right now. Like, they're really far behind, and it almost seems that it's insurmountable to catch up and answer the problems of the draft. Is it better to just buckle down and create a machine that at least has those internal synergies, or does it just open you up to getting further and further behind before the game even starts?
So you're saying if it's possible to solve it when you're far behind?
Yeah, like is it an idea of going, okay, we need to actually be getting counters and we need to actually be getting ideas that solve the problems of the other team's draft, or do you just say, okay, let's just make a machine that actually works?
Yeah,
that's the dangerous
there's
part.
Something to that.
That's the dangerous part. Like, when you fall behind on the draft, usually those problems are difficult to solve, because there's one thing, if you don't solve the problem but you inherently make your lineup work, well, you still have a problem. And if you try solving the problems, then you can stay behind for the rest of the draft, because every problem that you solve, the enemy can throw you a new one most of the time.
Yes.
And if you do solve them, can you somehow solve the problems and have a lineup that has synergy with itself? And that's really challenging.
Yeah, it's just it's like you get put on the back foot, right? You're just you're reacting throughout the whole draft, and especially in a draft where the opponent has the overall last pick. Falling behind in that sense in the middle of the draft is so problematic.
This Brute pick, by the way, is really good.
Yeah, it's just this draft is like, it's a 4-to-1 out draft. It's brutal for Alliance.
Nahaz said it was hot, steaming garbage. Let's see if Sirius is going to be able to take out the garbage.
You'll do great in newspapers. You're good. A good headline. Good headline.
Let's see if the garbage is going to be taken out, and then when we get back, we'll actually be able to use numbers we trust to determine whether or not the draft was Hot Garbage are not. And the only numbers that I really do trust come from SAP, our analytical partner of the entire tournament. And they're right up there with Chat, another group of people that I do very greatly trust. And like Chat, I'm about to throw it down to 2 casters that I trust. I would even let them date my sister.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Rich. You know, he's been bragging a lot about his axe, and let me just say, I've seen it. It's not much to really talk about, but it's nice that he would let me date his sister.
No, last night he said that he wouldn't let you date him.
Okay, but he was uncomfortable with the level at which I would date his sister. He was okay
said,
with you.
Yeah, he said I could date.
Yeah, but what did he call you?
No, I called myself, can I even say that on broadcast?
Yeah, you can go. Dude, Rich has said much worse things.
Oh, I said I was sexually non-threatening.
Now that's not true.
That's
Believe
why I've got cute chubby cheeks. That's he's okay with
William,
it, he said.
William, you undersell yourself. I find you very sexually threatening.
He said it was all good in the hood. I could join the rich gang.
The rich gang. I thought you were going to say Campbell family, but it's rich gang. Oh, man. I know what's going on in chat right now. Chat, anybody else want to join the rich gang?
No. A lot of people in there will make some Campbell soup as Taiga gonna get run into here by Firefly, who played a sick Tiny last game. But.
He really did. Hey, we got to talk about the hot garbage.
The hot garbage, that's a strong term.
Yeah, you heard that? Hot garbage. That's our panelists really did not like Alliance's draft.
Yeah. Dude, I'm really liking that Nahaz is just going in on people now.
Yeah.
He's just calling people bad, saying that drafts are unwinnable.
Yeah, he's calling 8 to 20. Normally, if you say 8 to 20 to Alan, he does the scoffing thing. He's 80 20. Do you even know how odds work, man?
Nah, he really believes that.
But he's down. He's saying, get out of here. Your draft sucks. Do you agree?
I don't know if I agree that strong. I do think that ASD played a pretty good Broodmother the last time I saw it, so we'll see.
And the last time you disagreed with Nahaz about a Broodmother, you ended up being wrong.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
Tianming, he's dead. We've got a, one of the things I was thinking about is that, Mineski? It was Mineski, right, that ran the Grimstroke plus Riki.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was also some hot garbage. But at least it was an easy to execute Grimstroke combo. And I was thinking after that game one, I was like, I just want, if you're gonna draft Grimstroke again, just make it simple. We did not see a single Soulbind Lasso, I think, in that game. They had Inkswell with AM, which isn't like the most natural. Yeah, he may have Blink, but he's not necessarily somebody who's going to be starting every fight for you. Here, we've got Sand King Grimstroke. Nice and easy. Burrow Strike stun into Inkswell stun.
Yes.
I
this time it's much more easy. I mean, we saw it once, and even Boxy was confused by it. He's like, I guess I have to BKB first before I'm able to do this, as Quakeba getting beat back here a little bit, but should get pretty good farm just because Spectre, Nature's Prophet, there is absolutely no way that you can die in this lane as Quap. If Quakeba dies, that is 100% on him. This lane has 1 slow, no nuking ability. You should just get free farm, I think, on this Queen of Pain just as much as the Spectre farm.
Would you be willing to say that if he dies... Oh, hold up. We're going to watch the Batrider potentially die here. Nope, Fireflies into... Oh, the Stroke of Fate nailed him. Well played by Insania.
It didn't even look like it was supposed to hit. It didn't even follow the same pattern, but it's one of those things where, when you're floating above something, it distorts your perception.
Yeah. Well, the Stroke of Fate goes down into that little valley area,
Yeah.
so...
I was like, oh, that definitely missed, but able to get the kill. Really needed something like that, and
they're gonna swap lanes. So now Koifa, after they've killed in July, and he is TP'd into the lane, Alliance are immediately like, oh, that's our go sign.
yeah,
They don't have TPs to dodge. We swap lanes. We're now going to be able to have the Troll into the Spectre lane, and if they do swap, it means in July is going to have to walk all the way down to bottom.
Dude, this Batrider loves playing against Troll.
Yeah.
We saw it yesterday. We saw it 2 days ago, in fact, when he was able to do it against Ace's bottom lane. They're going to make the aggressive move, and Taiga getting in
Strike
position.
gets it, and a third kill for Alliance. Draft maybe hot garbage, but they are at least getting a good start for themselves in the laning phase. They got the laning matchup that at least gave them a small advantage, which is the Batrider having to run down to bottom lane. They even swapped it up, so their offlaner is matched up against the Broodmother, who's doing very well for himself. Is 31-1 right now compared to the 17-5 of the Broodmother. Obviously, a large number of that CS is Spiderlings.
I mean, hot garbage is strong. you gotta say, Alan, you gotta say like, this lineup is just not as good.
I thought you appreciated Alan going to him. And we're going off of all of this from Rich's report of what Alan said.
Yeah.
In the and I trust Rich in that regard.
Oh, of course, dude. I know a lot of people that trust Rich.
Yeah. Probably not his sister, soon.
Rich told me that his sister looks identical to him, and then he asked me if I would date her, and I don't know if that made me want to say yes more or less, as Mickey's going to get gone on bottom.
in trouble. The supports need to be able to get here. No, he's not. The Burrow Strike, H-Swell combo will give them some time to be able to kill the Batrider. Mickey, get out of the flames, because Firefly's on his way.
That was well done. Good rotation from the two supports. As they did get the matchup that they wanted again, which is the Batrider versus the Troll, but nice rotation from the supports, just not abandoning him. And I think part of it is because they can't do anything to ASD. Like, they don't have a purpose anywhere else on the map right now.
Yeah.
Like, ASD...
ASD made a very big
grave
misread.
Error.
That is a black dragon. It splashes, meaning your spiders will not stay alive to help you kill that thing.
Dude, the spiders... And that's why Matama Man likes to go for a medallion, right?
Yeah.
It's much easier at that point. But it looks like ASD is going to go for the same build that he went for the last game, which is...
Midas, Diffusal, Manta?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Midas? No, he went Yasha at some point, I think.
Oh, running over Mickey again. Can the supports be here to be able to save him? Taiga is here. He's ready to go with the Burrow Strike. They've already used the Inkswell, though. Maybe the stun is just going to be enough to kill Tianming. As long as Insania doesn't overcommit until all the sticky napalm. Firefly wears out. Alliance know they can just keep on going. A good toss back there from Firefly might be enough to save him, especially Mickey does not get an ensnare here. The Courier staying on top of Firefly, getting them vision.
Now
he turns and threatens the Courier to make sure it has to fly away. And, oh, that's going to be a flame break that does a ton of damage. In fact, Mickey is going to have to pass up his magic wand stacks just to stay alive.
That was
as he had 9 stacks on him.
That was 9 stacks. Jeez.
Well, the Shrine was already used, so in July and Firefly, they just have to head back to base or something. One's low on mana, the other's low on health. 0 to 5. But a pickoff on the Courier. Tianming throws a high ground Tinker ward to be able to pick off said Courier. That ward won't do anything else for a while, but it got the Courier, and that's probably worth it.
It did get the Courier. And their lineups, I don't know if I want to say greedy on the side of Sirius. They have 2 supports that I'm not sure how they're going to scale.
Yeah.
I do see Quakefa with like...
Yeah, Quakefa's getting too greedy, I think.
Yeah, he's got quite the build right now.
Oh, the maxed out Shadow Strike?
Yeah, with the Soul, in conjunction with the Soul Ring, the double mantle.
He's trying to spam the Spectre out of lane.
Is it working?
I don't know.
We haven't been watching this top lane.
Yeah.
So they both have, it's like, you see one Soul Ring, so
yeah, you
counter with your own.
Gotta use that soul power.
So despite the fact that it is a 5-0 lead, the net worth, of course, being relatively even, these early kills not meaning as much. Because no one's getting forced out of lane for these kills.
Yeah. Big stack there. Quakefa spots it. Really wants his team to come over. They do have 2 levels of Sandstorm from Taiga. So they can certainly threaten that stack.
You think they should right now?
If they do it right now, they're in danger of Sylar and Firefly coming in, throwing their nukes.
Firefly's going to come for this.
Yeah, they're going to try and take a lot of these last hits, and the damage over time of Sandstorm is not going to be enough to secure A lot of these bigger creeps that it just baits in. Maybe the Spectre. Is there going to be able to get the Burrow Strike into the Inkswell? He can't
Toss him
disengage.
away.
The Avalanche is not going to be good enough, but they toss him away from Firefly. Toss him over to Tianming. And that means Alliance not able to get that kill. But they're still going to look for this stack. Immediately managed to take away the Observer Ward that was laid out by Alliance, trying to look over this area. Still, I mean, I'm expecting Batrider to show up soon, and sure enough, he's rotated in with an Invis rune. Now, Alliance, are they going to do more to contest this? Are they going to bring in the Omni Knight or the Troll? Doesn't look like it. They may just have to give this one away as Firefly and Tianming zone out the rest of Alliance while the Batrider takes the stack. It does mean they're leaving the Troll totally alone at bottom lane. Mickey's free farming, and Mickey may not have been able to win that Animage game, but in general, you should always be a little bit afraid of letting Mickey hard carry free farm. This kid does a lot with a lot.
This is a stun out from Taiga, gonna reset himself. And yeah, I think Mickey, one of the more impressive core players that I've seen. Hasn't really had a lot of momentum because of his surgery, I think, and his issues that he has with his hands. I'm not actually sure if it was surgery or if he just needed to take time off, but still very mechanically skilled.
Roxy's getting a little bit low here. I think he soul ringed and didn't purify himself. And you are getting to a point where the Broodmother is a lot stronger, can actually fight the Omni Knight whenever the insatiable hunger is up.
She's had Midas up for a while now too.
Yeah, it doesn't need to really force things too much because of that Hand of Midas.
That was a really quick Midas.
Farming. And Boxy just really can't leave this lane, and when he does, it means he's going to be giving up that mid-tier 1 tower. So he gets that fast kill, but somebody's got to defend mid. It's just dropping so quickly. It went from full HP to half to below. Now a quarter almost. Mickey trying to fight that Batrider. Boxy does return to the mid lane to be able to defend that tower.
But Boxy doesn't really want to be here either.
No, he doesn't. He has to be here out of necessity, but Omni Knights obviously want to be able to play with others. Insania. Inkswell gets the stun onto Tianming so he can back up a little bit easier. Is there a point where Mickey can be sitting mid? Oh, the toss over on the Queen of Pain. No blink up for 7 seconds, so Koifa is very likely to die here, especially with the Spectre popping the ultimate. It looks like Sylar just wanted to be a part of that kill, collect the bit of gold and experience for himself, and maybe also change lanes away from that Troll. Sylar is definitely behind compared to a lot of the cores. The Troll is a good 1,500 net worth over Sylar right now. That's where a lot of the Alliance Advantage net worth is held right now.
The downside of this Queen of Pain build, by the way, is that you're going to start leveling Blink so late because you want to get everything else.
Yeah.
Going for the 3 levels of the dagger means you also, if you do pick up your talent, you're getting max out Blink plus ulti and all that jazz so much later.
And that's surprising, especially against a Batrider and a Spectre. And even a Furion, right? Like,
yeah.
You've got 2 globals that can catch you after you blink the first time. And you've got this Batrider that can run people down because of sticky napalm and his movement
same with
speed.
Brood when you're under his webs.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Like, you're going to max out everything at, like, level 13. It's pretty intense.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And the amount of burst damage that they put out is not that great. But
Trying to catch Sylar here, slowed down by the Shadow Strike, but Taiga couldn't catch up for the Inkswell. Now he will be able to hit. Nice! A bit of a blind Burrow Strike there, just made the read that it was going to be long enough and catches the Spectre. The Epicenter and the Sonic Wave, they continue to shut down Sylar's game.
in this mid lane, ASD trying to do what he can to this mid tower. Just continues to farm up neutrals. Does have the defusal coming now.
Soon he'll just be able to backdoor it. This number of spiders, you could just sneak in real quickly.
And the scary part is what you're doing as a Brood is you're effectively removing another hero from the game. You're trading. You're like, well, I'll also farm this creep wave while simultaneously farming neutrals. I'm going to put you in a position where there will be a team fight that you'll want to go to and you just can't.
Falling in, Insania for Sylar to get the kill. Because he definitely needs a lot of recovery right now.
Yeah. And this Omni's just being removed from the game.
Yeah. It's like, even if he does do really well in lane, and he gets a somewhat even amount of net worth, like what an Omni Knight does with that compared to what a Broodmother can do with that. we saw from ASD, he was able to carry the game with the combat items he was able to get. Omni Knight, I mean, you're mostly going to be getting sustain items, I imagine. Maybe he feels like he's far enough ahead he goes Radiance or something.
I'd be cool with Red. I do think the downside of the Split game, though, is there are much better ways to deal with it than the complexity game that we saw.
Yeah.
They have tons of AoE.
They have long range initiation.
The
at
GA
some
is
point.
really nice against the Brood, like Enter ulti,
Yeah.
as he's going to make his move on a Boxy.
Does manage a Heavenly Grace off the Diffusal Blade slow. Needs to be able to get out of these webs. ASD does have plenty of webs left. He's actually got 6 more charges, and especially with John Ying now joining him. Boxy getting blocked up a little bit, trying to make it over to the Shrine area. It's not activated, though. Mickey is going to be able to bail him out with a TP.
Yeah, and you saw that Boxy was quite greedy there. He was looking for the creep camp. Like, that's the reason why it took a second for him. It's because he was looking to see if there was a creep he could Midas while running away. I think it was the right call, because in all likelihood, it's really hard to kill him.
Yeah. Especially with the maxed out Heavenly Grace. 28 bonus strength, an extra 20 regen as well. He does go drums. With his hand of Midas, I would really like to see Radiance next.
I think so too. I think if I'm looking at the items that he could build to be ultra effective this game, because he went for the phase boots, it's very unlikely that he goes for the Greaves. And if he does, it'll be much later on. Otherwise, you just got there in a really inefficient way. So I think it's better to go for like more of a core build.
Maybe they'll even go the right-click build, which is the 90 damage at level 15. Mickey is going to be saved by Boxing. They turn around with that Heavenly Grace, getting the lockdown onto ASD. ASD thinking he can fight it with the Insatiable Hunger, is only really keeping himself at minimum 30% HP, and now with the jump in from the rest of Sirius, they will be able to run down Mickey's. They've just kind of overextended themselves. The rest of Alliance just really slow to rotate over here, and they're just getting overwhelmed. But now the Epicenter jump in, only really catching the Tiny, the Sonic Wave, only hitting Sylar on the side, but maybe it's enough with the Shadow Strike, the follow-up Burrow Strike in 2 seconds time. They need to be able to find Sylar somewhere in these trees. The Inkswell does manage to stun in July, so they'll take that kill instead of the big carry of Sirius. Sylar, he TPs away successfully to the Shrine.
So they are going to get the carry, but they do trade the Tiny and the Troll for it. Not really sure how worth that is, but that feels like it should have gone even better for them as ASD.
That level 1 blink, you've got so many seconds left that his team has to come in and try and bail him out, but Koifa may be just too low, as Taiga can't actually stun. He doesn't have the mana for it. They're going to slow him down with the Whirling Axes, but ASD is getting away. 5 more mana for Taiga, but it's not up.
And this is the issue with the build, is it requires so many levels for you to max out everything on the side of the Queen of Pain, and
he needs every tome.
Yeah, like he's just gonna get chased down like that. The 3 levels of Dagger plus the Soul Ring, like, you understand why he decided to go for it, but at the same time, it's also like, you know, you're crippling your own game.
Especially given the fact that that we saw ASD, he carried with his Broodmother. So I feel like they're looking at Sylar and saying, like, as long as Sylar doesn't have a game, we've won. But I'm not sure if that's true, because I think Sylar's ASD is still going to hit a really big mid-game and maybe even a late-game window where he does a lot with this Broodmother, especially with the Axe upgrade at some point.
Yeah. Is he going Yasha, by the way?
He's going the Manta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the build. This is the same build he went yesterday.
Yeah.
The Spider's going to get mopped up by the supports, but
the support may get mopped up by ASD as the Diffusal Blade onto Insania allows him to catch up until the Soulbind. The toss is going to finish off the support as well as the Spiderling. And they'll be able to get that Tier 1 tower. Alliance have kept it alive for quite some time. 17 minutes is when it finally falls against a Broodmother, but it has to go down eventually.
And Sylar, with the very good timing on his Relic, this Broodmother, she's greedy in one sense and not in the other, right? Because she puts pressure on the map. And that's even more important than just having some guy that like goes around and roams, is this Broodmother who, she's such a unique hero in the sense that she doesn't really want to join team fights, but because when you stick her in the mid lane, and like this was the big innovation, is it puts so much pressure on the map that you can't ignore her.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up that mid tier 1 tower because it means that you don't have to, you no longer have to smoke, and it requires the enemy to always have vision in that area.
There's no like, oh, let's play the other side of the map.
Exactly.
When her side of the map is the middle.
Yeah, this is the best part about this Brood now, because before in the side lane, you could essentially just ignore her. And when she would make her rotation, it wouldn't feel as good because she wouldn't have that Brood network set up.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're in the mid lane, you have access to everything. You can make your way.
Taiga TPing over to try and save Insania. If they can actually get the kill on Injuly, trade it out for Insania, it'd be worth it, but they do not. Injuly with his boots of travel makes a fast move.
And none of their cores have really a stun.
Yeah.
At best, you have a lot of slows, and then you get an ensnare.
Dude, it's feeling like this build is between the Shadow Strike and the way they tried to rotate and shut down Sylar, the fact that he may still have a 20-minute Radiance, that's concerning for Alliance.
Oh yeah, for sure it is. And this Brute's still going untouched.
Their Troll is super farmed. He has much more net worth than the Spectre, but...
Yeah. He is about to get the Radiance timing, and when that happens, you decide to go for the smoke if you're on the side of Sirius. You're about to get a Blink Dagger on your Tiny as well. In July pushes out this top lane. Firefly was such a beast on this Tiny last
Taiga,
game.
no Blink Dagger for 3 seconds. May have been a good opportunity for them to try and jump. They're going to smoke up after they kill the Spiderlings in mid. They're going to rotate down to bottom, but a heavy push is coming in top lane as well.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top
That'll
tower
certainly
is
give
under
some
attack.
information to Sirius that when no one's defending this tier 2, got to be on the other side of the map, but it may not be enough. They're going to be able to... Oh, the missed Burrow Strike, Taiga!
Is under attack.
That was a kill right there, maybe.
Is under attack.
That was a kill right there, maybe.
Maybe.
But Mickey's gonna
They didn't have Sonic Wave.
take this bottom tier 2 tower.
Yeah. Trade out towers, or at least try to.
I mean, Mickey's gonna get it. He's got 12
Yeah.
stacks of the fur.
Mickey's going to get it. It's just a question of whether or not Tianming by himself can actually take this tier 2. Alliance could defend if they want to.
And they're giving
And
up
they're
so
going
much
to.
space.
I like this. The supports are TPing onto tier 3, leaving the tier 2 TP spot available for either Boxy or Mickey. And they can make their initiation. There goes the Inks. Well, this time the Burrow Strike won't miss. They'll be able to get the follow-ups done. Quaifa jumping in. The 4 position will die, and they can get the deny on this tier 2 tower as well. And if they actually kill Firefly, unfortunately, they don't have a stun.
And the Orchid's now completed on this Queen of Pain. But the counter already there with the Manta style.
Yeah.
And he's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter now.
Snow counter on the Bat Rider or Sylar Spectre at least, so there's still a window there. But won't be able to do much against this Brood.
And now they have a Blink Dagger on their Bat Rider too.
He's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter just like last time too, as his 4th item. I feel like the Axe really does add a lot more viability to this carry Broodmother. Okay, Burrow Strike Epicenter on ASD, but there's no follow-up unless Mickey can get there in time. They're slowing down the Broodmother, and they might be able to get the Manta. Into the trees he goes, and now with the Insatiable Hunger will heal off the Ancients, and Alliance are in a bad place right now. They manage to get the lasso onto Boxy. Boxy, Heavenly Graces, pops his ultimate as well, and just turns and fights. He does have a Purification, trying to get the kill onto Firefly as best he can. Firefly, meanwhile, is running forward, has a Blink Dagger with the TP in from Tianming. They turn onto him, kill him, but they just want to be able to stall out these heroes, but Firefly dies as well. Mickey picks up at least 2. Won't be able to finish off the Spectre, but maybe with the Queen of Pain jumping in, the Shadow Strike. Burrow Strike is up as well. Taiga, he's trying to commit for this one. Almost has enough damage to finish off Sylar. Will he die to the strike? It doesn't look like it. He's healing quite a bit over time. He is fine. They even give him an urn just to make sure.
They tried so hard to all in on ASD right there, and he does the very smart move. He gets his HP to a reasonable number, comes back in, starts to hit onto the Omni Knight. They separate in that fight too.
Yeah.
And that's all Sylar feeling strong enough to just kind of go for it.
A buyback from Taiga's Sand King.
That would have been so massive if they were able to kill ASD there. They
Yeah.
used so much trying to all in for him.
They
And he
just
did-
had like a little, if heroes were just a little bit closer.
The thing is, they can't kill Boxy unless he's there. Like, the
Yeah.
only reason that Boxy dies
Under attack.
is because the Brood hits him for like 100 times in a row. But if that's not the case, then Boxy's able to reset for the rest of his team. He can zone out heroes by himself, and then they can deal with Sylar.
Dire's
But
bottom
because that
tower
Brood
is under
lives,
attack.
He does get the 90 damage on Boxy, so he hits really hard. He is going to go for that Radiance build.
yeah, I think this is the only... With the items that he had, it was the build he had to go
Yeah.
for.
I don't even know what do you do from here. Do you get AC or something
I think you
after
go
the
like
Radiance?
Rad, maybe a 4-staff or something like that.
What about Shivas?
Shivas
might
is
be
pretty
nice.
good too.
Yeah.
They need some reset item though on their team, which is what they sorely lack last game.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I wish I hadn't just seen how far that Bat Rider was.
Yeah, he's 9,000 net worth, is looking at either an Aghanim Scepter or a BKB right now. Has the point booster for the Ags. Has the BKB queued up if he feels like it's needed.
Dire's top tower.
And they're going to finish up this top tower. Makes it even better. StarLadder gets the last hit. Almost has a Manta of his own.
Oh, that's another thing, right? That makes the carry Broodmother quite strong. There's some okay talents for you as a just a right-click builder. 200 health, 20 agility, 50 attack speed, and then this 60 insatiable hunger damage and lifesteal. So you go up to 200% lifesteal. It's pretty insane.
Is that the Radiance on the Omni? Oh,
No, he's doesn't even have the relic yet.
he's close-ish.
Especially if he
Midas
keeps
is.
on killing a bunch of spiders like that.
DD Room picked up the...
It's just going to be so hard for them to be able to, oh, nice burrow strike, well timed there, and they will be able to get the soul bind on 2 heroes, but those are 2 free walking heroes. You can't really, whoa, nice toss back from Firefly there, long distance. Boxy is going to be okay, mostly because of the Heavenly Grace, and as you said, it's really hard to fight him.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. They had to isolate him and just beat him down
Yeah.
while relying on StarLadder being able to mop up the rest of the heroes in the back line.
Koitva going for the Ags next.
If they can kill the Bat Rider, they'll take away so much of the damage, though. Like, Boxy's fine at dealing with the Spectre. Like, these very chippy fights, Omni Knight's really good in.
Pick up the relic. 25-minute bounty runes plus a tier 1 tower would do a lot to get closer to that Radiance. Looks like Mickey is looking at a 4th item, Satanic, for himself.
Radiant's top tower has
Who was it that we saw not get lifesteal on Troll?
God, that
It
was
was
so freaking bad, man.
it was the TNC game. That's what it was. It was like Cuckoo was playing Mag, and
Mickey does have a BKB, so he feels comfortable being on this front line, but Broodmother as well as the Spectre can immediately go for the sports in the back. Unfortunately, there's the Omni Knight save. They immediately try and jump on an ASD. ASD, he's not going to get away this time. Now Firefly has overcommitted himself as well, trying to help out his Broodmother. Spectre sitting in the back, realizes with 3 dead, he can't really do much, but he's been caught. He tried to go around the Alliance team after he went for the back line. Will be able to get, thanks to the Spectral Dagger, into the high ground, down to the low ground as well. Turns around, Taiga's overextended himself. He's daggered up. He has a burrow strike. He needs to be able to get distance away from them. Actually goes into the trees, TP's out, and he makes it. Ooh, good little play there.
we saw right there the issues with Sirius's lineup is if they can't kill the Omni Knight and you lose your Brood, there's no way that you can kill that Omni. Like, the Brood is the only way that this really happens.
I was getting a little bit of Grant anxiety there.
What?
I was watching
Midas?
Boxy with an Arcane Rune not use his hand of Midas for like 10 seconds.
Oh, Granters would be upset.
Dude, with an Arcane Rune,
We see right
Grant
here.
would be furious.
And this is the right idea. Drop everything on ASD.
Yeah.
The rest of the team can't fight. And now Boxy's gotten rid of his threat. Because the mana burn is quite annoying for the Omni.
Okay, part of the reason they can turn on to him so heavily, right, is the lack of BKB. Do you agree with his choice of going Aghanim Scepter before BKB?
Yeah. I think the Ags allows you to... It's sort of the similar concept with the Lesh move speed build.
Yeah.
It's the mobility of the hero sort of replaces that.
Okay, so how does he approach a fight differently? Because he doesnn't have that magic immunity, he can't be targeted down by everybody. How does he play it?
I mean, you have to have your Bat Rider initiate
Yeah.
into the back line. Just, they were given the opportunity
Swell
to
burrow
all
strike.
And Alliance now take the gold lead, and they might just go in for Roche themselves.
Yeah.
But the
You're
win condition is just kill this Broodmother, keep your Omni alive.
Oh, well, they found a good initiation. Koifa, man, you can't be out of position like that. Your team now may be in trouble as Mickey is already low. Alpha trying to take that Roshan, does have Battle Trance plus the BKB. He's ready to pop that battle trance. They're keeping their distance, though, and that's why Mickey's holding on to it on the left-hand side, though. Taiga's trying to find the jump onto ASD, but he's by himself, so the Soulbind doesn't actually connect to anything. Still kiting Mickey. Does not have his BKB anymore. They just want to force it out of him, but he gets a heal from Boxy. He also has his Heavenly Grace as well as Guardian Angel. At any point they can turn, they're going to have to pop it now. Mickey trying to catch up. The sticky napalm's just burning low. Finally, there goes the battle trance. Managed to get a two-man burrow strike on the side, but unfortunately the troll is focused on the ASD right now, but he managed to get him. ASD went outside of his webs. Oh no! Now the Spectre's gonna be slowed down as Insania comes back into play, slowing down the Spectre, keeping the vision,
him.
multiple strokes of fate, gets the long range ensnare from Mickey, and now Alliance can go for the Roshan.
And getting out of the webs. They were doing such a good job of kiting Mickey, and they got impatient.
And Sirius, now they're desperate.
And the real hero that you have to kill is this Omni Knight.
Yeah.
The fact that he had his moving assistant, his walking fountain.
I knew this was gonna happen. Sirius, we're gonna get desperate. Oh, the Wrath of Nature doing so much. Everybody's so low, but nobody's gonna die.
And Boxy just going to continue to heal this all up.
Man. You could see the tiny Bat Rider, and they're like, oh, guys, they're doing Roshan. We gotta go. All they do is just feed away more. That's going to be Aegis for Mickey.
The last hit by the Queen of Pain because of the bash. Did not want to risk anything.
Oh, I like this movement speed build from, he went SNY as Radiance. I like the Shivas because of the slow, but the SNY is also great, and he has the degen aura.
Yeah, plus the status res is really nice against Sirius's lineup. Because if you think about it, they don't really have the best counters to the Bat Rider anyways.
Yeah.
So being able to shuck it off even faster.
I mean, that is part of the problem, right? Is that Bat Rider's not making the clean initiation every single time because he has to work around this Omni Knight. He has to deal with this Heavenly Grace, this strong Dispel. And just like the regen, the status resistant makes it so Lasso's always, I want to be able to go on this one target, pull them back, everyone's going to throw spells on him. But how do you do that with Heavenly Grace on it?
Yeah. It's even when they lost that fight mid, I can see like how the game is won. Because if they do kill ASD, that one engagement, you know which one I'm talking about, where he hit the Ancients with his ulti.
Yeah.
Like you could see even there how Alliance could win the fight.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if Boxy lives and ASD dies, it's very simple because it still took like 30 seconds to kill the Omni Knight. But if the Omni Knight has help and he's able to just let his team frontline for him, and he sort of just sits back, it's really hard for ASD to be able to get on top of him like that for as long as he did.
Yeah.
The only reason that fight went so bad is because they were so split up. Again,
Now the Satanic.
you've got to kill this Omni, but it's just not that easy.
Throw out the epicenter. Do it. Just kill Tianming. That Furion being out of the game means that they don't have to worry so much about split push. They can get really good map control and take the fight to Sirius. And this is something that Insania said after game one, is that he said, in this game two, I want to be able to fight them. And they're doing exactly this with this lineup. A relatively easy execution with the Inkswell. Just go get these initiations, go get these stuns, and fight Sirius as much as you can. Aegis, Satanic, Battle Trance. 3 different lives, essentially, for the Troll.
The Satanic is going to be so good in this game. There's just not that like ultra hard lockdown aside from the Bat Rider, but he already has his own problems because there's so many targets that he has to use it on.
Yeah.
He has to use it on the Quap because she has so much mobility. The Omni Knight, but the Omni Knight has an SNY for himself. There's just
Trying to find him, does catch Firefly as he was trying to push out bottom lane. Spectre is actually going to pop as they... Where are they going to? Going to bottom, I guess. Insania will die for this. It's not a great Spectre ultimate, but...
yeah, they're going to be perfectly happy with that. They might even decide to go high ground with that maneuver when everyone respawns with no haunt up.
Yeah, I saw the haunt, and obviously we watched that kill bottom, and I was like, there must be something going on mid. You know, he must be popping this haunt because they're about to get a pick off on Boxy. I don't know, like I saw it, I was like, I don't think you want to be using haunt just for a 5 position. Oh, but Koifa getting picked off, that would be pretty big. If Injali can move fast enough. And he already did it after he blinked. He has to blink. Lasso pull him back to ASD, who doesn't have the webs in the area. And ASD and Tian Ming are saying, dude, it's too far out. We can't go for it. Injali's gonna try and get, do they have any stuns? No stuns? Burrow Strike just in time from Taiga.
And now Koifa starting to roll up too. All three of their cores feeling very strong about themselves.
Yeah.
Almost as the Shivas. He's going to be the person that gets it, as Omni Knight's going to go for a Linken's. Just put that on your troll, let him go. And I think the reason why he's going for this Linken's is because he thinks like the only way that we lose fights is if Bat Rider jumps on me and I get all in. And he would be completely correct. These like long chippy fights, that's like Omni Knight's bread and butter. He loves that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is falling.
8,000 net worth lead, 14-24. 34 minutes in, Alliance are taking full control of this game and are even thinking about pushing into high ground right now with their Aegis, daring Sirius to stop them. And at this point, with the Haunt still on cooldown for another 10 seconds, Sirius, they're loath to actually start a fight just yet, but they've already lost the tier 3. The melee barracks is soon to fall.
I mean, how do you start a fight? Like, who do you start it on?
Yeah. It's going to be up to Firefly, I think. He needs to be able to get some sort of toss back. Maybe pull the troll super out of position or something. They do manage to get the initiation onto Taiga. They're going to try and stop him. They throw the Heavenly Grace onto Mickey. They say the troll is the only important hero right now. The Soulbind onto Tiny as well as ASD, but they're going to try and run back in. They want to be able to catch Alliance, and that's where the Spectre ultimate goes down immediately. Omni Knight responds there with the Guardian Angel. Now he is low. He's going to try and Heavenly Grace himself. There is also in the back lines a nice jump in from the Sand King, trying to get the stuns up, allowing Mickey to be able to go on ASD. He's ripping apart both him, Firefly. Now the Spectre's forced to be able to buy back. He slows down Injali as well, but he's going to get kited here, especially with these buybacks. But they don't have a stun to be able to stop his TP, so he gets away for free.
That was so many buybacks used too. In the pursuit of that, as Sylar instantly popped it thinking that the fight would extend, but Mickey, even though his Omni Knight bought back there, he didn't panic. He was like, I'm just going to TP out, I'm sorry. But they also use buybacks. There is 3,600 gold on this Spectre. They did a much better job of isolating Boxy, as the Desolate actually destroyed him. He wasn't near anybody.
Yeah.
Which made that really hard for him to survive. But I question again the decision to jump on the Taiga.
Yeah. Especially since you saw Boxy. He didn't Heavenly Grace the Sand King. He was like, Taiga, you don't matter, honestly. They're going to start the fight on us. You don't matter. What matters is Mickey.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the Heavenly Grace on him and just let him do his thing.
He's like, you'll be fine. Just stun away. They won't hard commit for this, and he was completely correct. I think Boxy does need an armor item, though. Like, even going for, let's see. I could see a Vlad's, but somebody else should probably pick that up. Maybe even SK. I could see Crimson Guard.
Well, they don't have an AC on their team.
Yeah, AC would be really good, too.
A Lotus Orb is good this game as well. Instead of, he's thinking about Linken's. I feel like Lotus Orb
Are scanning.
fits that idea while still giving you armor. Shivas, they're going to try and get the fast pick off on Koifa, but there is Boxy there with the Heavenly Grace, the strong dispel now.
Sylar doesn't have buyback.
Both of them. Sylar has no buybacks. Tian Ming's going to fall as well. And this could be just the end of the game as Sirius
That is a long
trying
time.
to make the pick off. Dude, how many times you've seen Alliance do this? That they make the hard read of where Sirius is going to go or where the enemy team is going to go for a pickoff and rotate just in time to be able to not just turn and save their ally, but make a really good fight out of it.
Yeah, this was 3 fights in a row now. 89 seconds without the Spectre. You weren't winning fights with him. It's significantly more difficult without him. Not a lot of buybacks on their side either. Really just the Bat Rider, but it's the Brood that you would want it on in an ideal world.
I feel like this situation is like the cash grab, you know, where you go into the box where the dollar bills are flying all around. You're just trying to grab as much as you can. Here, Alliance have free reign of the base. It's just a question of how many buildings can they kill in this 60 seconds. And it's probably all of them.
And Peel was used there too. That is a good amount of damage that's now gone is they're just going to march towards this bottom lane. Mickey already on top of the tower. They've got to make some sort of move or they're going to get mega creeped at this point.
It's going to be hard to jump onto Mickey and do anything about him. Now that he's got the level 25, the Battle Trance with a strong Dispel. They're going to jump in with the Burrow Strike Inkswell on ASD. They do have a defensive force staff, and Insatiable Hunger goes out from ASD. Wants to be able to fight this. Now that Alliance have jumped forward significantly, Mickey is going to turn and fight him right back and see if they can actually outduel this lifesteal, as they will be able to with the Sonic Wave doing so much pure damage. ASD almost dying, but does manage to get back to the fountain. And now they definitely overextended themselves potentially, so they're going to start going into the fountain. But that's where
Omni
Boxy,
doesn't care.
his trap card, he pops the Guardian Angel and kills the Tiny underneath his fountain. And Boxy will end up dying here eventually. It looks like Alliance were not able to get the Megas that it was kind of foretold to be. And Sirius, well, they're going to try and catch as many heroes as they can, but Mickey's going to turn and fight them. There goes the Spectre ultimate. He's going to try and catch the Queen of Pain, but she blinks away, so instead going for the supports. Jumping over the illusion again. Couldn't find anybody, so it's back over to Mickey. Mickey being controlled up. Does have the Battle Trance. Needs to be able to pop it, but he doesn't get it off.
That was a little bit too manly on the side of the Omni Knight.
Yeah.
And they got way too far forward trying to all in for that Broodmother. Because if you just back up there,
Yeah.
hit the Rax, you're going to take that Rax for free.
It's
and
a-
instead Alliance give Sirius backs a lot of gold.
It's a Tiny Bat Rider.
Yeah, they don't.
They're literally some of the best heroes for you to get anywhere close to Fountain to.
They had
They're
so
lasso
long.
you. They're gonna tiny toss you backwards.
back
Like,
up.
just don't go next to the fountain, man.
They have the best fountain fighters in the game. All the troll has to do. I mean, they all just baited themselves into that fight.
Yeah. They're still significantly ahead. The win percentage has gone from like 95% to now 92%. ASD tries to get what damage he can on the buildings. Just really hoping he can force the buyback out of the troll. Feel like Alliance are unlikely to take that. But they're actually going to go for the initiation, the epicenter, plus the soul bind, the burrow strike through the two of them already. ASD almost being bursted down, but does manage to get off his BKB. Runs away. Taiga with a secondary Inkswell, Force Staff himself away from Injuly. Another Force Staff, and Injuly couldn't actually find the lasso. Really fast reactions from Alliance to stop the initiation, stop the pickoff on the Sand King. And they somehow managed to defend their melee barracks without buying back, being 2 cores down.
And that's going to be really significant for them, because that means that they can gear up for the next Roshan fight. They're going to be up in 3 seconds. And
God, Sirius is going to regret this if they don't actually get the Roshan fast enough.
yeah, they're going to all in for this, because I think they have to at
But
this point.
Taiga's going to go in, manage to get the Burrow Strike. Sandstorm just
Only
doing
hits
some AoE
one.
damage, but the Roshan's falling fast. Insania's not able to stop this one. Aegis is going to be picked up, and Taiga with the Inkswell stun doesn't steal anything away. Actually grabbed the cheese. He grabbed the cheese away. ASD didn't pick that one up. The Spectre is going to pop her ultimate. Trying to run around. They do manage to get mid. Mickey coming in through. They manage to get the lasso onto him. Pull him up to the high ground with that lasso, but now he's popped his BKB with a Heavenly Grace as well, and they can't fight into him. They just have to full out retreat with the Aegis if they can. Taiga's hoping to be able to catch somebody, but didn't hit the Burrow Strike. Sylar's going to be able to TP away successfully.
Does reset the fight for himself and get an Aegis. Only losing the Nature's Prophet in the process, but he doesn't have buyback. And
Not bad.
Alliance might think that they're strong enough to go for it with that.
92 now becomes 89%. So it's being chipped away by every successful play from Sirius.
Yeah, they're doing all the little things correctly. Taiga, when he blinked in, he only stunned one target. I was like,
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
there was this central mass, but he went left.
At least he, if they gotten the cheese on the Broodmother, that would have been pretty nasty.
I do like that move though from Sirius. It was very all-in-y, but they had to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you give Alliance the opportunity to get the Aegis and cheese, I think the game is pretty impossible to hold.
Yeah. It goes to show how strong Alliance feel right now, that even with the Aegis on the side of Sirius, they're still pushing out, taking over the map. They don't even group up that much. They're kind of split.
Radiant's top
That's a
tower is under attack.
full Abyssal Blade now completed by the Spectre.
Meanwhile, Mickey's trying to complete... Oh, he had Scotty queued up, but it looks like Mjolnir is his choice instead.
Radiant are
ASD also wants an Abyssal, as much control as they can get.
I'm sure Kyle's really upset right now because he thinks that the Nature's Prophet should have, what is it? What's that item?
Force now.
Battle Fury.
I don't know what that means, but we're going to have initiation on a Koipa. He's going to get Abyssal Blade up. Good Force Staff. He managed to get the blink away. The lasso onto 2, trying to control this troll as much as possible. Boxy is eventually going to fall. They're going to deal with Mickey after. Mickey just can't seem to do enough damage as he's going to pop his thing. Getting the Burrow Strike Epicenter, blocking down all 3, and Mickey should be able to rip him apart. Sylar does have that extra Aegis Stone. That's why Mickey's not going to try and finish him off. He, even with the double damage, is a little bit scared of fighting this Spectre, but he can't get away and will fall here. No buyback on Boxy or Insania. Buyback available for Mickey and Taiga, but it's going to be a 3 versus 5 potentially.
Oh, Alliance. I can't believe they're in this position right now. This game, there was no buyback on the Spectre, and they were right in front of the base, and now they've come to this.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Mid barracks gone. Initiation opening up on Firefly with the Orchid and the Sonic Wave, looking to be able to finish him off. The Force Staffs again from Sirius. Force Staffs back and forth, just really well played, but he does take out from the Orchid anyway.
And that might buy them enough time, but Firefly, he's serious. He's like,
back.
we need to end the game right now. Troll does have buyback.
They may think that Troll doesn't have buyback with the way he's holding it right now.
That was good discipline from Mickey.
Yeah.
Not to use it. Because now they're in a position where they're sort of just all-inning themselves.
And they have tier 2 bottom, so they can give up top lane. They don't necessarily have to buy back, but they find the right kind of initiation here. 2-man Burrow Strike. Now, with the lasso going out, Sylar's going to try and go for this kill on Koipa. With ASD here as well, they just need the magic damage to be able to eat through that Guardian Angel, but couldn't finish off the Queen of Pain. Now they toss the Spider over at Koipa, but he immediately fears off ASD. ASD's getting lower and lower. Another Force Staff going out as Taiga goes to try and finish him off with the Burrow Strike, but unable to. Now that Insania is back up, they want to try and catch Sylar. The long-range Stroke of Fate, managing to nail Sylar, and they will catch him. They'll bring down that Aegis. Epicenter, Taiga's going in. He's immediately going to Burrow Strike up the Spectre. They're going to try and burst it down with the Shivas, scaring back Firefly as well, making sure that they can't actually save Sylar so easily. He's down to half health, but Taiga's quite low. Sylar sees that he's doing a lot of damage in return, but he needs the help of his allies, and Mickey's come in from the side to be able to find the Tiny, while Spectre just getting kited around, unable to finish off anybody. He dies, immediately buys back, pops the ultimate. Taiga's low, will be able to get that 1 kill, goes for the other support in Insania, but the Inkswell's going to keep away, so instead he turns on to Boxy, sees Boxy's low, pops the Lincolns, unable to catch him because of the degen aura, so now he slows down Mickey as much as possible, but ASD feels like he can't find him. A total whiff from Koifa as he misses the Sonic Wave, unable to finish off in July as he should have with that big burst of damage, has to blink himself out.
And he's going to reset the fight, but big whiff. That would have been a guaranteed kill on that Batrider. But Alliance hold for the time being. Serious. They used a lot of buybacks just in pursuit of trying to end the game, thinking that Troll didn't have buyback, but naturally is able to spawn.
Alliance overall, as you said, good discipline earlier, not buying back. Now have a buyback on Koifa and Troll. Nobody else in the game has one.
That's a massive advantage for them.
Yeah.
Being able to have it on their 2 main cores.
At the same time, though, because the net worth exchange, that win percentage now bumped up to 16% for Team Sirius.
I mean, they're doing all the right things to try to end this game. Like, they're playing very aggressively. They're playing outside of their base. It almost feels like they're the ones that have the advantage.
Yeah. You were talking about Battle Fury for Troll?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
So that he can get rid of the Sprout.
I think you said Nature's Prophet.
Ah, I meant for
because you were
the
thinking
Nature's
about
Prophet.
the Sprout,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you said Battle Fury, and a fight started, and I was just like,
Dire's
what
top
did he
shrine
mean?
is under attack.
What does this
the
mean?
Battle Fury interaction with NP. Everyone knows about a cat.
Yeah.
Shaking my damn head, but in July does have the Aghanim Scepter. It's been quite nice for them, but it's always weird when he uses it on the Omni +1 target because the Omni comes out of it so quickly.
Oh, yeah. With the status resistance.
Yeah.
One of the times he grabbed Omni and the Troll, and
Yeah,
the Troll
that's the
was
one I was
heavily
talking about.
graced, and the Troll has how much status resistance? 30%, and then it's not additive, but another 50 from Heavenly Grace. So it just doesn't last at all.
I mean, they're still up 13K, but realistically, this game could have been over like, should have been over like 12 minutes ago.
Yeah, for sure. Lions are still just one fight away from being able to end this game, but it's a Spectre that now has a Scotty as well. And he had a tough time. You saw when he died, bought back and popped the Haunt. There were so many heroes that were low, but between Force Staffs, Inkswell, Degen, Aura, he couldn't actually stay on top of anybody. Desire Scotty could change that.
Quickfire has the fear talent, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Every single time anybody gets close to him, they get feared away.
It's like, nobody gets the Lincoln's talent.
No. He almost has Scythe. He wants to hold on to his buyback, so he's probably not going to pick up that Scythe for a while, but... Daedalus soon for ASD. It's a big upgrade, because they've had a hard time being able to burst down heroes when they do find their initiation. So Daedalus upgrade will do a lot for them.
As Firefly gets spotted, but Mickey just throwing out the axes for the time being. When Boxy dies, though, Mickey is so vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. He gets burned out of his mana pretty quickly, so Battle Trance,
Is he going Butterfly
it's hard to use.
on Boxy? Boxy's going Butterfly.
Oh, yeah, he is. Well, there's no MKB on anybody, and they're 6 slotted, so if they don't have MKB, I guess the evasion's really good.
Heavenly Grace on a Mickey. All smoked up
How
behind
did
him right
they
now.
find this initiation? What does Firefly and Injuly do to start this fight? If they spot Alliance, if the smoke breaks,
Oh,
first one's going to be on Mickey. They spot him, or they know the rest of the team is right behind him.
Dire's bottom
They're going to
tower
smoke up
is under
themselves.
attack.
But Alliance are just going to play in this high ground area.
look at the long move by Injuly right now. He's trying to skip all the ward vision out.
Full wrap around.
Dire's bottom tower
Get the vision behind the enemy team. They spot Boxy, but a 2-man bro strike to be able to stop things off. Goes after immediately from Taiga to give him a little lease on life, but he's going to be lasted up, pulled, isolated. Inkswell's going to be able to buy him a lot of time with that Haunt. He's still going out. He actually even gets out the epicenter. This is 3 heroes committing for a kill on Taiga. That actually just all 3 are about to fall. ASD barely getting away as the Sonic Wave was not enough to kill him. Immediate buybacks. The heroes that did commit for those kills, they had buybacks. The only one that committed and got away was ASD, whose buyback was still on cooldown for a minute. Honestly, Sirius is so lucky that ASD survived there.
Yeah, that was by the skin of his teeth, and he didn't have buyback. Mickey would have just pinged his team to go for it. So they're going to check Roshan, but it is a 5-on-5 again, and a lot of ultis were used there from both sides. If you check Alliance, all 5 were used.
What it is, well, great reaction from Insania, throwing the Inkswell onto Taiga when he gets lassoed. That stun then allows him to be able to get off Burrow Strike, which allows Epicenter to go down, and that just wins the fight.
I thought that was great by Taiga too. He just aggressively went for it, made it so that the Bat Rider's job was really hard.
Yeah.
Injuly can't get caught out like in that situation, because he has to be the one trying to skirt the edges, finding the initiation.
Right.
When Taiga jumps on him like that, it forces Injuly then to have to use the ulti onto the Sand King, which
Yeah, if
actually
Taiga
just made it
jumps
easier
like
for him.
Tian Ming in that situation by himself, like, okay,
Yeah.
nobody cares.
And now they're going for it again. The aggressive move to actually win the game right now.
I like that. I like it a lot. Especially with Queen of Pain, who was showing at bottom lane.
Any idea right now?
It's going to be slow to get here. They do have the Stroke of Fate. That's going to
They
reveal.
ping.
And now Mickey's just going to
It's
run
so
inside
low.
the pit. There's 3 different items that are really important. Mickey's going to get stunned up. Toss over into the high ground area. Is going to run back into the pit, though. ASD starts focusing on Taiga. Managed to get a bash. Ghost Scepter going down, trying to run at him with that Firefly. Not going to be good enough. Mickey tried to get the lockdown on Siler, but he manages. Gets rid of that ensnare. Mickey is afraid of being kited right now.
The
They're
Lincoln's blocked.
just poking at him. Another toss up in the air, bringing Mickey a little bit lower. Force Staff away. Now, Roshan's about to fall. Pick up that Aegis, but Taiga!
It's on the
He gets
ground.
the stun at the right time. He picks up the Aegis. Siler tries to get in there as well, but he's immediately feared by Koipa. They steal pretty much all of the items. Siler's gonna die inside the pit with no buyback. Alliance look for more. Gonna be able to catch him with a scythe. That is gonna be Firefly. Locked down by Mickey. What a jump from Taiga that single-handedly ends this game. It's looking like with no Spectre.
As
He's
Sylar was in
stunned.
there, he was
Oh.
trying. He was frantically trying to click anything he could on the ground. Wasn't even fighting.
Yeah.
He's like, surely there's something here for me. But Taiga was so quick on the uptick.
Yeah, Taiga got the Aegis.
The
And
fear
then
talent was great for that
The
too.
fear talent follow-up means that we got the refresher shard on Koipa. I don't know where the cheese went.
Dude, Koifa's been a beast in this
That was-
game.
that was
Aside
eaten
from the
by
1 or 2
somebody.
misses,
Yeah. I mean, that would have been massive. They could have gotten an Aegis Spectre. Spectre does have buyback. It's up in 10 seconds here, so they will have a small window
And
where
the
they can
lasso,
take a fight, might be able to save it from Megas.
the lasso getting blocked by Lincoln's.
Jump in. They're going to try and jump on Tianming, the defensive force snap. Once again, this is ASD's pop. He's going to go straight for the kill onto Taiga, but again, the Ghost Scepter is going to stop a lot. They need to be able to stop Mickey right now as he's going for the melee barracks. They can't really retreat right, otherwise they're going to be faced up against Megas. Sylar, the jump in, managed to get the lasso, but Mickey immediately shrugs it off their status resistance of Heavenly Grace, and now Alliance can back up. They've taken the Megas. They don't need anything else, but 2 minutes down for the Bat Rider means that Alliance could just try and end this game if they wanted to in a 5 versus 4.
They're in such prime position right now. But I've seen Alliance lose these games, and they know they've lost these type of games, so
They're
being pretty cautious.
hesitant. They do have buybacks on all the important heroes.
Past experience has scarred them.
4 buybacks available, and they're just going to slowly whittle away at the buildings. For Sirius to come to them just like they did with the Megas. That's now second tier 4 that falls. Throne is exposed. They're going to be able to get a 2-man bro strike to lead things on Taiga. Once again with Ghost Scepter as Sirius tries to turn onto him. They do have the ultimate pop of the Omni Knight. Silent trying to go for that back line. ASD managed to finish off Taiga. That's only the Aegis. Remember that. And the big Aegis just ignoring everybody else. Going for the throne at 2,000 HP. This Sprout's going to be able to buy a lot of time. The bro strike onto 2. They're locking down these heroes. And Mickey finally just finished them off. Gets 2 kills. No buybacks there. And that'll be the throne as well. We are going to a game 3. It took a while. It wasn't the cleanest end like Sirius was able to perform, but Alliance do come through in the clutch, pushing it to a game 3.
And Sirius did a very good job near the end, trying to make things happen. They continue to play for the win, going for the Roshan fights, but just a little bit too much on the side of Alliance. This Omni Knight pick in the mid lane was brilliant. He did such a good job of just supporting at all times, keeping Mickey alive. The Radiance mischance also being very effective against that Spectre.
He did well in his lane, was rarely out of position, got the right Heavenly Graces and Guardian Angels to defend against the Spectre, as well as the Mat Rider jumps all around.
That was a very good Omni game.
Yeah, him, Taiga, the supports definitely put it together. Felt like Koifa was probably the weakest link in that game between his Blink build and also just getting picked off a number of times, but the rest of Alliance did really well.
I thought he still did okay overall. Like, he had good farm. I liked his item build. His skill build was by far the most questionable thing, but
Yeah.
it did end up being okay in the end. I mean, that Omni saved so many fights in a row.
Yeah. So Alliance heading into game 3 again. They topped out their group and did not want to go down to 2-0 against Team Sirius, who only came second in Group B. Looking at this between game 1 and game 2, is there an advantage for either one of these teams that you see?
I think that Alliance actually had the better draft. Like, I could see it in the fight that they lost, curious enough, but I think they have to show up their play, because even with the better draft, they're still making those mistakes, like diving into the fountain with Spectre having no buyback. You have to clean up those sort of errors.
Well, speaking of the draft, I mean, Nahaz called it the hottest of garbage. He said he could literally smell the putrid guts and rotting meat and everything. He just said it was awful. Blitz says it's actually the better draft and does give them the win in game 2. Figure out the way Allen's going to backpedal his way out of here.
Observing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.